Hello and welcome to Heroes of History with another Let's Test Hero session. Now I have changed the setup a bit because, well, I couldn't keep my heroes forever at level 40, so now they're moving up, and now the new blue is level 90. Now you'll have Hector of Troy here in the next season that starts tomorrow, and well, I think we should test how good he is. Unfortunately, I didn't get Helen of Troy, so that cannot be possible. As you can see here, Hector of Troy, well, he looks very okay. And, well, it's not really comparable to the old ones, because, well, let's just admit it, 50 levels extra is just a lot of extra attack and defense and hit points, and it's just a bit all over the place. So let's take someone we tested relatively recently, Achilles, and compared to him, as you can see, he doesn't have as much attack, but nearly the same defense, and he doesn't have as much hit points either. So he seems rather weak actually. And let's test in here in his biography and see if there's other things too. Initial charge is 8 seconds, the same as regular charge, and well, yeah, it seems pretty okay. At base damage 454, that's usually the same for everyone, and 60 hits per second. He's a melee hero, so that's how we will test him out in well, basic setup. He has a movement speed that is fast, so he'll be everywhere very easily. Now let's look into his ability, which is what usually makes him interesting. I've only leveled him up to level 5, and he has a Fate-bound Rush. Teleport, single damage, self buff. He jumps to and deal almost 1000 hit points at 1000%. Single damage to enemy with the lowest health, prioritizing heroes. Well, that could be useful if you have a lot of heroes that tend not to die. Then you can have him move in and finish them off. Increases his attack speed by 110% for 8 seconds. That's roughly a doubling of attack speed. That should be quite useful too. That would give a lot of extra normal damage, which is also great. So I think that sounds great. I haven't put any equipment on him. I haven't used him a lot yet, and thus not a relic either. Awakening wise, he has awakened twice, giving him a 6% extra attack and 20% extra crit chance, and with twice as many hits. After the first use, well, then he can actually really use it, and his crit chance is 25% if I doesn't remember wrong, and well, that would be a lot of extra attacks. And then has more attack, and he can even more attack, and initial charge me a bit faster. Well, let's test him. Now let's go to the campaign map here. And no, I can't really test him here because, well, if he fights heroes, we'll need him to be somewhere else. That's 35, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let's start here, and that's where I tested this recent setup. Now let's dive into why I've set up. I have considered having a healer as a priority. Then I have a close combat single striker, and no, this one is the close combat and a ranged single striker. I have a support unit and well, an area damager, because there's a lot of extra units in this area damage to get rid of. And well, a support unit, I chose Cleopatra because I had to choose between the level 90s I have, or otherwise I would have even a bigger gap in making listed heroes if I had to take everyone up that I used to use from the level 40 listed heroes. So this is the reason why I choose it like I do, but it's primary to have those two as the primary testers in these well, single damages that leave out some, well, not ideally optimizations of the battles, but well, it should still show us if those heroes are worth collecting. So let's just find this Hector of Troy down here. It's there. And I used the close combat ones in the back row because then they will reach the front row in due time. And there's no people here stunning our heroes, so they won't be a problem that they are, well, gathering approximately right here, because this is a single stun for, well, I think for most of the area stunners we have, like Medusa, or Beethoven for that matter. So, oh, that was a good jump he made there. Well, he couldn't kill that guy, but he wasn't too hurt either. And that healer there was a bit annoying, so, well, we can still cut them out anyway. That's a minor hero anyway. It just gives us a little bit of shield, but as you see, him jumping in the midst of everything leaves him exposed. So a bit like Lactha, he tends to be exposed a lot of the time, but he's only a 4-star, so he isn't as versatile. Let's look at the stats here, and well, he actually made the most valuable play in this match, but well, it's also a lot taken from his well, the damage he soaked up. But even though that helps a lot, that he has taken up a lot of damage, he still made it to deal the most damage anyway. Now let's turn on to the next province and see an hero heavy battle there too. Now that was 31, jumping to 32 and taking battle 9 here too, and continue here. A lot of heroes. Well, let's just dive into it and see how great or, well, the contrary it does. As you can see, Cleopatra lands before him, even Sun Tzu, and, well, Robin Hood is a rather slow hero to fire. I usually prefer having someone like Boudica, so he is not really fast, and he needs to be awake in 5 to use that jump early on, but of course that will also put him into danger earlier. And the heavy speed of his attack after using his ability really helps him out killing off the enemy. Now let's see how he does. MVP again, not the most damaging, but way more hit points taken. Let's test, just jump to the third battle, and well, then we are to reach province 33 here. Get over 32, and up here we have 33, and this battle here. And continue. Now the thing I noticed, even though he starts his ability rather late, is that, well, when he first made the first jump, well, his 110% extra attack speed actually lasts 8 seconds, and his next one is also in 8 seconds, so he'll actually be quite versatile for the rest of the fight actually. Oh, that's a bad setup, as you can see, with 2 ranged like that. It kills off our healer because she's left alone back there, and that's where you might consider a different way to set those up, the other ranged, because you need someone to take the hit, so she doesn't have to take both of the hits, because this really kills us a lot, because there's no way this will go to be a 3-star if we don't have any healers. So if we have 2 that can soak up the damage, we'll be in a much better position. But let's see here. Robin Hood took this one because, well, he's a white, and, well, Hector actually more or less killed himself jumping into battle. Now let's just jump into a much more, well, much harder battle here, because, well, when we reach province 34 and 35, it becomes much more dangerous to fight, and it's much more difficult. Now, as you can see, well, it is still the only one I have in gain the full 3 stars from, but I haven't focused on gaining it, I must admit. So that's how it is. There's only one here, so that one guy can throw at us first anyway. So maybe we'll just take one extra down here and let those two fight a bit together so they can show a damage together. This way we'll have those ranged down here, hopefully shooting at 2 different, and as you can see here, Cleopatra can take hold of 2 of the enemy heroes that start fighting each other. And if just that, oh yes, that was a good shot from Robin Hood. It took down Queen Boudica rather early, but those also died in that melee combat they were into here, and that's really a bad situation there here. And with Cleopatra landing everything in here, we are literally in a bad spot here because everyone now kills us. So he has his shortcomings, this Hector of Troy, because he dies, well, literally too fast. I won this with Yusun Sin instead of him, this battle here. Barely though, I must admit, but it was won when I set up the basic formation where I could change the heroes for these videos. Well, I'm not sure that the changing of formation did me much good, but there is room for playing a bit around and see if you can spread out your ranged heroes so that it's not the same one being hit. Now, let's just take battle 35 here, and I can't go in and use this battle if I want to test 5 hero teams at a time, because this one only allows me to use 3 heroes. So there's a bit more variety if you get this far, but I can use this one. As you can see here, there's at least 3 different heroes here, and it's also rather difficult because there's 2 Robin Hoods here. And well, I think I'll change this back to what it was before, not because that's a good thing, for she will die because of Robin Hood, but then Robin Hood won't be killed by Robin Hood, obviously. So let's just see how well it goes, because the changes I made, well, it doesn't change a lot. And Robin Hood with his poisoned arrows, well, if he can shoot both of them on my poor healer here, well, that's the designated death, and they waste 2 shots, making it much more viable for us to at least make it through the first round. This is a rather difficult battle, and we need a really strong team of level 90 heroes to actually win this. And well, right now this team is doing pretty poor because we'll barely make it out of this battle, if we even make it that far. While Cleopatra can make her, well, fight herself, so we'll win this first round, but we'll not make it even through the second round. It took, well, let's just admit, it took several attempts with my own level 90s, with the best of the best setup I could come up with, to actually make it happen and to win it. Now let's look at the battle stats, and they are pretty poor. So let's make a simple comparison here to, well, Hector of Troy compared to Yusun Sin. As you can see here, while he actually ended up doing way less damage than Yusun Sin, his cannon is simply more powerful than the jump in Hector of Troy can do. And also Hector of Troy only have 1 finishing strikes, where Yusun Sin actually has 3 and aiming for the weakest hero 2. So Yusun Sin is way more powerful, but he's also a 5-star, so there you can actually say there's a good reason for this. Sun Tzu is approximately the same damage, the same with Robin Hood, and well, Cleopatra for some reason gives a bit more of damage in average, and Hatshepsut, well, it's not too different from that. Hector of Troy though also do a lot more, yeah, well, he takes a lot more damage, and well, it is also because he actually ends up dying in the last 3 battles. As you can see here, that's his total number of hit points at this point, that he has lost 3 times in the last 3 battles, making sure we're not getting it as 3-star. Well, The others, well, as most of them is not too different for how much hit points they lost, of course. And the last battle here in both of them were lost. There is 0 stars in these formations. This is not a recommended setup to finishing 35-8 under any circumstances. And well, Hatshepsut was giving a bit more healing, and well, if you look at Hector of Troy, the first 2 battles where he survived, he also lost a lot more of hit points, so there has been more hit points to heal too. As you can see up here, there's way more in the first battle that he actually heals, so he's a bit of a wild card, but he isn't weak. As you saw in the first 2 battles, he actually did a pretty great job at making him the MVP of both battles, so he definitely has his merits, but I wouldn't call him a superb hero that I would go to extreme lengths to get my hands on. Now I will say thank you for watching this video.